we have 2x minus 3x minus 20. I'm going to factor that. I'm looking for the factors of 2x squared. And I'm thinking, well, trial and error, 2 and 1, right? So 2 and 1. And then for 20, I was thinking 5 and 4. If we take the outside, 2 times 4 is 8. And 5 times x is 5x. We have 8x and 5x. If you do 5x, take away 8x, you end up with negative 3x. I want the 8 to be negative, 2x times negative 4. I want the 5x to be positive, plus 5 times x. For this one, same thing with the 2. I'm going to do 2. And for the 15, I'm going to do 3 and 5. I tried 3 and 5 first, but if I put the 3 here and the 5 here, we have 2 times 5 is 10. Then 3 times x is 3x. 10x and 3x doesn't make 11x. It makes 13x. That doesn't work. I switched it around, the 5 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 5 times x, or 5 times 1 is 5. 5 and 6 makes 11. That works. This is difference of squares. X plus 3, x minus 3. This is the factors of 3, 1 and 3. So I did 3 and 1. For 12, I did 3 and 4. I knew the 3 couldn't go here, because if it did, it implies a common factor up here, but we have no common factor up here. I put the 4 here and the 3 here, tried it out. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 1 is 4, so we have 9 and 4. Do 9 and 4 make 13? Yeah, 9 plus 4 is 13, but it's negative 13. These signs have to be the same, but they're both negative, so negative 4, negative 3. Once we do that, we can cancel. 2x plus 5 goes into 2x plus 5 once, so that cancels, that makes 1. The x minus 3's cancel, but you can't cancel across the equal sign. This is as far as we get. After this, we end up with something that looks like this. So I'm going to cross multiply. I'm going to multiply the 3x minus 4 times the x minus 4, multiply the x plus 3 times the x plus 3, and that gives me x minus 4 times 3x minus 4 is equal to x plus 3 times x plus 3. I'm going to do the FOIL. X times 3x is 3x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12x. Negative 4 times 4 is positive 16. Then I have x plus 3 times itself. First term squared, 2 times the first times the last, and then the last squared. Then I want to get all my x squareds on one side. I'm subtracting x squared from both sides. I have some like terms over here. I'm going to add those together. Negative 4x minus 12x is negative 16x. I want to get all my x squareds on one side. I have more x squareds here. I'm going to subtract x squared from both sides. That's going to give me 2x squared here. Then I want to get all my x's on this side as well. So I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. That's going to give me negative 22x on this side. Then I want to get rid of this 9. So subtract 9 from both sides. And that gives us 16. Take away 9 is 7. So we end up getting 2x squared minus 22x plus 7. The factors of 7 are 1 and 7, but no matter what I do with this, it doesn't work out with trial and error or with PSF. So I'm going to have to complete the square on this one. I'm going to divide all these terms by 2. And that gives me x squared minus 11x plus 7 over 2 is equal to 0. I want to get rid of the 7 over 2. I'm going to subtract it from both sides. That gives me x squared minus 11x is equal to negative 7 over 2. Now I want to make a new last term. So this is a perfect square trinomial. This is my middle term, which if it is a perfect square trinomial, this should be 2 times the first times the last. So I'm saying 2FL, 2 first last, is equal to negative 11x. First squared is x squared. The first must be x. I can remove the first, remove the x. We have 2 times the last is equal to negative 11. Divide both sides by 2. Last is negative 11 over 2. We're after last squared. Square it. 121 over 4. I'm going to add this to both sides. I have x squared minus 11x plus 121 over 4 is equal to negative 7 over 2 plus 121 over 4. You get a common denominator. I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by 2. That's going to give me negative 14 over 4. Okay, but this is a perfect square trinomial. I'm going to have x minus the square root of this, 11 over 2. X minus 11 over 2 squared is equal to negative 14 over 4 plus 121 over 4. That gives us 121. Take away 14 is 107 over 4. I want to take the square root of both sides. When I do, I'm going to have to do the square root of this side, but plus or minus. We get a plus or minus the square root of 107 over 4. 4 is a perfect square. I want to get rid of this negative 11 over 2. I'm going to add it to both sides. X is equal to 11 over 2 plus or minus, take the square root of 107 over the square root of 4, which is 2. Notice we have a common denominator. I can put all that together and say x is equal to 11 plus or minus the square root of 107 over 2. All right, I'm just going to split those into two numbers. So I'm going to go and figure that out in a spreadsheet. X is 11 minus the square root of 107, which is 107 to the power of 0.5. All of that is being divided by 2. Let me put an equals in front of that. Brackets around everything. All of that divided by 2. That's the negative. Fill that in over here. Change this to a positive. We have both the plus and the minus. So this is the plus one. That's the minus one. We get these two values, 0.3279 and 10.6720, like that. This is the answer. We have restrictions. This number can't be 0. That number can't be 0. This number can't be 0. The 3x minus 4 can't be 0. The x minus 3 can't be 0. So 2x plus 5 can't be 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. So 2x can't be negative 5. Divide both sides by 2. X can't be negative 5 over 2. Our first restriction is x can't be negative 5 over 2. Then x plus 3 can't be 0. So x can't be negative 3 is our second restriction. 3x minus 4 can't be 0. 3x can't be positive 4. X can't be positive 4 over 3. X can't be 4 over 3. X minus 3 can't be 0. So x can't be positive 3. These are our 4 restrictions. And that's it for question number 6. Have a good day.